My generation of cartoons was an era that focused on deep topics. As much as they were shows or movies for kids, I am pretty sure that a grown adult can relate to some of the topics displayed in these cartoons. For example, we have Teen Titans, a show that had moments of dealing with loss, depression, heartbreak, desperation, and the need to fit in with people to feel accepted. And then we had Regular Show that sometimes dealt with the realistic world of growing up, adulting basically, being kids in high school who once had dreams and hopes of their future, only to end up working as groundkeepers in a park for nearly all their 20s. And finally, we had Ed, Ed, and Eddie, a group of losers who were rejected by their neighborhood, only to be loved and accepted during the last moments of the show, their final movie, The Big Picture Day. So, with the many cartoons I can talk about, why Kung Fu Panda? Specifically, the second one. Well, that's because it talked about something I think a lot of us struggle with or have struggled with, which is inner peace. Inner peace is the theme of this whole movie. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room, or shall I say, panda in a small kitchen. I don't think Poe has ever questioned why his dad is a goose, but that's because he suppressed the bad memories of his past. Poe was only a baby when everything got taken away from him until he starts to get triggered and starts to remember what happened to him and his parents. But he has to fight with himself in order to move on from those painful memories, which causes an internal conflict with him. In our day to day lives, there are things that we haven't forgotten. There are people whom we haven't forgiven. It's natural for us to want to hurt the people that hurt us, but we know that at the end of the day, it is not right. But until we can forgive and accept the wrongs in our lives, whether it be our own doing or life just being a bitch, holding on to such pain will never ever do us any good. Now, I'm not telling you that inner peace is an easy thing to achieve or acceptance is a short journey. No, not even the movie is saying that. Kung Fu Panda 2 actually shows us how difficult it is to let go of the past and focus on who you are now and who you want to be in the future. Poe's inner peace journey was one of pain, but it took him going through that pain in order to save everyone. I have to mention that I have only seen two Kung Fu Panda movies, but the reason why I stopped at two is because to me, I felt that it peaked. And to think back, this movie came out when I was 9 years old. So it's amazing to me how even at that age, I could understand what Poe was going through. The movie's writing and pacing is masterclass because the creators were not shy to let things get dark, but not too dark to a point where they scare us away, but just enough. Enough for us as kids to feel something. The movie also explored Poe's identity crisis. Not knowing about his past causes him to question himself. Even after being the dragon warrior and son to a goose that runs a noodle restaurant, Poe still feels that he doesn't know who he is anymore. Which is why, in the end, it is so satisfying to watch Poe learn that our past does not define us. How we start is not how we finish. All that matters is who do we choose to be now in this current moment, and who do we want to be in the future. A thing I will always appreciate about Kung Fu Panda as a whole, even though I've only seen two, is its writing, especially how it writes its villains. Because in part 2, we get Shen. the once proud heir to his father's throne, was rejected by his family for being himself. And yes, he is evil, that we will not deny. He is responsible for what happened to Po and his family and village. However, being banished by your own father is something I cannot even begin to imagine how it feels. But it is this banishment that leads him down the path that he chose. Po and Shen have to go through a journey of inner peace, but both have a different approach. Shen wants to find inner peace through destruction and power, whereas Po wants to find inner peace through healing and accepting his horrible past. You would think a movie like this would not relate to kids, and you would be right. After all, this is a movie about animals that can talk and do kung fu, only the coolest fighting style for a 9-year-old in the late 2000s. But what if I told you that it was meant to prepare us for our future? Because the movie was loved and targeted at kids who weren't dealing with emotional struggles yet. What if again I told you that the unspoken message of the movie is that when we grow up, we would be carrying a lot of pain and trauma, but we have to find inner peace in order to let it go?
You gotta let go of that stuff from the past, because it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you choose to be now.
If you made it this far into the video, I appreciate you so much and thank you for watching. You know the drill. Like if you like things, share if you care, comment if you have some common sense, and subscribe if you can commit to a relationship. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.